Hello. Welcome to Car Expert YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. The car again comes with a choice of two gas engines, neither of which has been touched as part of this update. The S and all-wheel drive SQ4 models use a 3.0-liter twin-turbocharged V6 that makes 404 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. Interestingly, an updated, 424 horsepower version of this engine that launched in the Leved crossover doesn't make it to the big sedan. The QP's other engine is the GTS model's twin-turbo 3.8-liter V8, which puts out 523 horsepower and 524 pounds-to-foot. The V8 is only paired with rear-wheel drive because adding a front drive shaft would be a packaging nightmare that's not worth the small number of added sales. Both engines are hooked to ZF's ubiquitous 8-speed automatic transmission, which works cleanly and efficiently. The absence of a front diff explains why the V8 only claims 0.2 advantage over the SQ4 to 60 miles per hour, hitting the mark in 4.6 seconds. Given that the rear drive S does the run in 4.9 seconds, you have to figure a hypothetical all-wheel drive V8 could knock that down to 4.4. If the engines haven't been even lightly fiddled in the facelift, there are good reasons. They're both pretty nice sports engines that do an excellent job of masquerading as undercover luxury motors. The chassis, with its 5-link rear end and skyhook active damping, hasn't had much tweaking either, though it could have used some love. It lifts wheels here and there and its pieces sometimes feel like they're not all working in harmony. A wheelbase this long will always help the ride and the progressiveness of the handling, and those things are still Quattroporte hallmarks. It forgives mistakes. There's little pitch or squat under braking or acceleration, a feat accomplished via old-school suspension engineering rather than electronic means, and the big machine is very easy to drive quickly. The GTS Gran Lusso has a wonderfully old-fashioned character, with a big engine note and big performance that doesn't ever dominate a machine noted as much for its exquisite leather stitching as for its hardware. The car's stability and hard cornering is astonishing. It can be unsettled, but it tells you of any upcoming loss of grip and what you should do about it well before it becomes a problem that could spit you off the road. The Gran Lusso and Gran Sport both ride well, with calm composure for the most part and only occasional springy hits from the back end over things like expansion joints, and they both have a reassuring way of making it feel like you are easing your way around difficult roads, even when you're pushing quite hard. The strength of the V8 engine is obvious from the moment you find the mysteriously hidden start button, waking it up with threatening depth and constrained anger. Then you push the sport button and the exhaust valves open up to give the engine its full voice. The navigation seems to be the weak link, with our car's screen freezing 4 times, once for 10 minutes, and then returning only to tell us we were driving in the Tyrrhenian Sea. That's partly offset by the Quattroporte running a level of style and class in the interior that even the clearly higher consumer technology of the Germans can't match. Maserati's hand-stitched leather interiors are exquisite, and the aluminum shift paddles are compellingly touchable, while the Gran Lusso runs, optional, silk trim for the seat and doors. There are jarring notes, though, with the chrome plastic trim pieces across the air vents and instrument cluster looking and feeling far from premium, the cup holders cover closing with an undamped clunk, and the roof lining flexing flimsily when you use the buttons Maserati has left up there. At its core, the Quattroporte is a solidly good car, but it always was. It just lacked the kind of technology that buyers of big German sedans took for granted. Now that it has that tech, most of it, at least, it's a much more credible contender. It's just a shame it's not better in some areas that seem pretty visible, because the core of the car deserves it.